Hello and welcome to Memoirs of Successful Women. I'm Annie Gibbins, founder and CEO of Women's Biz Global, and I invite you to kick off your heels, get comfortable, and be ready to receive the golden nuggets that are shared as you listen in to candid conversations I have with fascinating women from around the globe. Business leaders, entrepreneurs, humanitarians, athletes, and a whole lot of regular people. They will keep you riveted as they let their guard down and open up on aspects of their business and life journey, how they measure success and what they have learned along the way. My intent is that our conversations will inspire you to embrace opportunities and possibilities beyond the limits of your imagination, because I know that this is where we reclaim our power. I want you to reclaim your power, your strength and vulnerability, to stand in your truth and propel yourself towards the life that you dream to live. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready to meet an extraordinary guest today. Her name is Jocelyn Chong, and she is a true powerhouse in the world of communication and business growth. She wears many impressive hats, from being a leading communication specialist, a business growth coach, award-winning best-selling author, keynote speaker, to hosting her own impactful podcast, which I've just recently been on. Jocelyn's journey is nothing short of awe-inspiring. Over 2 decades of triumphs in the banking and finance sector, where she generated a staggering $200 million in revenue. She took the big, bold leap that many of us have done to follow her true passion, which is entrepreneurship. So armed with an MBA and a wealth of experience in high-level sales, leadership and communication, she then empowered thousands of business professionals and entrepreneurs. And her mission is to guide them in earning with ease. Basically, how can we do it in an easier way? Attracting dream clients to her and crafting lives of design. So that's not all, though. Jocelyn's work goes beyond business. She's also on a mission to help business leaders tap into their soul's calling. We're on Channel 9, Hive, Beam Magazine, FBA, Thrive Global, Digital Journal, Fox, Ask.com, The Times, Finance News. Is there anywhere this woman hasn't been? Well, now she can add Women's Biz Global to her repertoire. Welcome to our program today, Jocelyn.
Oh, Annie Gibbins, you are an amazing, amazing host here. Just, what a wonderful introduction that you have made for me. I really appreciate that. And, well, I'm so glad to be here on your show.
I've been excited all week about you coming onto my show, and I want to dive into my first question with you. Can you share some practical strategies? I'm a practical kind of gal, and I know most of my listeners are as well. So what are some of your practical strategies for intentional thought creation that can help individuals shift their mindset towards success and abundance, which is what you're all about?
Yes, I love that. So every single day when we wake up, we have these unintentional thoughts that just come into my mind every morning without thinking, right? We have got 60 to 80,000 thoughts every single day. And if we don't actually set an intention, we will let those thoughts rule us. So here's what I do with my clients who come into my space to work. Intentional thought creation is you think about, right, what thoughts do I want to create today? And think about a sentence. Let's use this. I am in high demand. You are a business owner. You think that thought, I am in high demand. Then you want to choose one emotion that you can feel. What does that mean when you're in high demand? You're calm, you're relaxed, you're at peace. And so, what sort of actions would you take when you're calm, you're relaxed, and you're at peace? So you'll be writing up posts. Let's say you're a digital course creator, you're writing up posts because you're calm, you're peace. You're not the opposite of that. You will meet people. You would share your content and you help them out and you'll be resourceful. So those are the actions that you take. You would go out and you would offer what you can do to help another person feel better once they leave you. And guess what? When you do that sequence, the results of course, is going to be you are in high demand. So that's one example of how you can create intentional thought, feeling, action, and your results will be in line with that thought process. So you could do that for anything that you want. If you want to dive in deeper into your sales, you can create one thought about sales that you are going to use that day and practice thinking about that. And then what sort of emotions when you sit on a consultation call with your client? I'm there to serve them for their highest good. And then what action would you take next? What would be something that you would help them out, resource them? And then guess what? Consultation close, because they want to work with amazing people like you. So that's a couple of examples I can offer.
I love that. What a great way to start this conversation. And it's actually just believing that you are the person that you're telling others that you are. You know, it's a self-belief thing here. It's showing up as that person. It's telling yourself, yes, I have got all this knowledge, wisdom, and I'm able to then give that to others. I love your attitude of giving first, and being generous with others as well. I completely align with that. I'd love to tap into that. You mentioned sales before, and sales psychology is such a crucial aspect of business growth, right? And I know that so many of my clients, and I know yours, just go, but I'm not a salesy person. I'm not sort of inclined. I feel uncomfortable with that. So what are some fundamental principles that entrepreneurs should or have to master to become effective salespeople?
I'd like to think about sales as just an invitation to help someone with your talents, your God-given talents, your superpowers. And so let me give you a practical example. So if you are good in helping people lose weight, you're a weight loss coach, then help them with that by saying, look, I can help you do that because I've gone through that journey. I've got tools, methods, and formula to help you, guide you through that. Within the next 60 days, you can lose 5 pounds and you can keep the weight off. Be so clear around that it is so easy that you're not trying to desperately sell someone, I've got a formula and it's going to help you out. And if you take this with me, I'm willing to discount that today. None of that energy. It is completely divorcing yourself from a result. It is purely coming from a full, whole heart of, I'm here to serve you. I know that when you work with me, the results is going to leave you better, and it's going to be getting you the results faster. It's going to help you get more time back, which means if you lose weight, guess what? You feel better about yourself. You'll be able to play with your kids more. You'll be able to serve others at the highest level. You think clearly. So it's helping them think differently about the sales component. The other thing that I commonly hear about a lot of entrepreneurs is that I don't want to sell something to people because I don't want to be salesy. And that's a common phrase that I hear. Well, we are not there. If you are actually helping someone at the highest level, you're just really, truly, genuinely offering support. You're not selling something. A lot of people think that selling is, maybe we're conditioned to think like car salesmen or people that are very transactional. They are insurance people coming to your door, knocking and helping you get your insurance. And those were the very old and traditional, outdated way of thinking about sales. Sales is really just truly helping someone with a product that you can support them and that leaves them better after they have come into your world, your orbit, and how you support them.
It's so true, isn't it? It's actually an opportunity to provide the answer to their problem, right? If you're actually looking at a product or a service, it's that someone has an acute need and you just happen to provide that product or service that can help them. So this view, and I know so many people struggle with this, Jocelyn, and it's understandable because they've probably had a childhood of watching salesy people who were so pushy, or they have felt they're harassed by salespeople. Whereas, we know in modern business, business, you're not going to get much business if you are pushy. People are going to make that decision once they have, often followed you for a period of time, checked out your recommendations, asked someone else about you. They've got to be really aligned to actually make that. So by the time you're making that sale, it's actually just an opportunity to serve, or that's what it should be. So I'm sure you're aligned with that. We've mentioned also about wealth creation. So we want, your example was weight loss in that way, but also the same principles apply to wealth creation. We're wanting to create wealth as women so that we have all of those wonderful opportunities to spend and live our life the way we're wanting to do. So can you highlight some specific challenges that women often face in this regard, being focused on their wealth creation, and what strategies they can implement to build lasting financial security? Because for me, financial security means freedom to actually live a life with intent. Gives you safety, security, and also obviously a lovely lifestyle. I'd love to hear your wisdom on this topic.
Absolutely. I love talking about this topic because number one, I work in the banking sector and I'm an ex-banker. Number two, I've been in the wealth management. I was a financial advisor, and then I went in to lead larger teams. And so that was a lot to do with helping people create wealth, generational wealth as well. So I can talk about this all day, every day for hundreds of days. But let me share with you the very simple principle around wealth. Number one is to find out what are your money blocks. It's actually the money blocks that hinders people from creating more wealth. And so it could be simple as, I don't like maths. Money is hard to earn. I have to work more to make money. And so if you think about subtle sentences that had been picked up in your childhood, or something that you witnessed growing up, that your family upbringing has got that in you, I'll give you mine. I come from Malaysia, and in Malaysia, I feel that wealthy people are always corrupted. And that was one of my huge money blocks. I had to face it, work through it, and unlock. Because I know that if I have money, I'm willing to pay taxes. I'm not going to evade taxes. I'm going to do drugs to make more money. I'm not going to cheat on someone and find a way that is, dishonest. And so I had to clear that out of my mindset that I can be a multi-million-dollar person, and I am, and it's okay. But I had to do that work. And that was all the subtleties, because I always felt that, if I'm really, really wealthy, then that's the only way to wealth, because that was the only way I was presented. And so I want to invite our listeners to do the work around money energy, because it is such a fundamental work that we are not taught in school. It's not taught in uni. You can pay hundreds of $1,000s, go to uni and study, but they never teach you something so fundamental around money mindset. And where I learned it is actually not when I was a financial advisor. It was after, when I became a financial advisor. I've heard thousands of people coming across my door in my office, and they've got all these blocks. And I'm like, I am sure there is a way to unblock this. And then I started to discover that there is all this money energy work that needs to come from within, not external. It's from the work within us that we need to go in, identify, be so aware what is hindering us from progressing. And once you're willing to process all the money blocks that could hold you and keep you small, then the wealth creation aspect will flow with ease, with grace, like you're breathing air. It's like you don't consciously think, I'm breathing, I'm exhaling. Like money flow is meant to be like a rhythm. It doesn't have to be forced. It doesn't have to be pushy. It doesn't have to be like a lot of just toughness. It's just a flow. And money is neutral. Money is how we give definition towards you. And so doing that fundamental work, and if you have not thought about this and this is the first time you heard about it, I am more than happy to talk to you more about it and, guide you through that process because I've been through that myself. And of course, thousands of people that I have then helped them move past different layers because as you know, right, if you make 500,000, if you make 1 million, if you make 5 million, there is new level, then new devil. And a lot of people at some point when they create so much wealth, they are so fearful of success. Then there's another level to work through those type of blocks and mindset, which again, I can talk about it for days. So that's the short version that I can give all of our listeners. And that's the fundamental part.
I'm definitely going to have you as a guest speaker in my money mindset program, for sure, because you are the guru of that. And I love that what you said there, that there's going to be different levels of that. So one, it's being aware, a lot of awareness into those money stories that you've actually been told. You know, I've had people even say to me as an instant response of, oh, our family's never been one to attract money. So it's such a blanket statement, which is so limiting. And you use that word as well. Or I don't want to earn a lot because I don't want to be one of those selfish people, oh my goodness, or greedy people. It's just interesting, these thoughts that suddenly come into your head associated with experiences you've probably had in your early childhood that can then be really limiting to you. It was a huge breakthrough for me, Jocelyn, when I actually sort of really thought through that and went, now I actually go, you know what, I actually want to be hugely successful because then I've got huge amounts that I can do great things with. So it's actually a choice. It just gives you opportunity then, give scholarships, do aid work. If you want to keep it all yourself, no judgment, but it just gives you opportunity. So I love this whole topic, and I think it's so refreshing to be able to talk about it with you today. Now, I also know you love talking about transformational leadership, and this is such a powerful concept. So how can leaders cultivate this approach to not only drive their business success, but also to inspire their teams to reach their fullest potential? Because as you grow and scale, you're going to then have to bring on more people. And so I too love this topic, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on how can they actually really intentionally focus on cultivating this approach.
So I'm sure our listeners have witnessed this in your lifetime, that you have leaders who just pass on so much information and they are not people who are transformed. There are a lot of information that they will expect you to do, but they never role model that. And so they've just got a formula. They have the procedure. But my definition of transformational leadership, it has to come from within. And so when you lead, you become so magnetic because you don't have to force, push, put people in a place where then they have to do something for you. And what does that mean is that if you do self-leadership first, you do by example. You show them. You go through the process, you explain that to them, you tell them your struggles and how you found a way to overcome that. Guess what? The rest of your team will naturally learn and catch that. And transformational leadership is all about how you can influence people in different positions. So all our businesses have got different people, accountants, lawyers that work with us. We've got different people that run the operational side, the HR side for us. And as a transformational leader, some basic things that we need to do is we need to lead by example. And that, what we needed to do is to go deep rather than external and follow. These are the principles that I expect you to demonstrate, but I'm not going to demonstrate, but I'm a leader with the title. So you need to demonstrate that to me. And that's not going to be transformational at all. Nobody is going to actually follow through. In fact, the truth of the matter is people are going to talk behind your back and they will not respect you. So transformational leadership is very much around, these are my journey. Let's communicate openly. Let's negotiate openly. Let's be open about what we go through, how we take feedback, how we implement them. And the other side of that is, what do you do for your inner work? And inner work is what I call, do you look after your health? Do you look after your mindset? Do you look after and invest in your own growth and development? Because leadership is not a set and forget approach. It is growth, continually growing, evolving, be a better person from the last 12 months, continue to ask for feedback from the right trusted advisor and implement them and continue to grow. And so once you do that, it makes such a big difference. And other things that might be minor is, are you looking after your sleep? Are you eating well? Are you doing workout? Are you, looking after your mindset and reading, podcasting, being part of the right network? Because those influences the way you position yourself as a transformational leader. And so if you think about this as a mini audit from this conversation, to go away and don't have to tell anyone that you and I shared this, thing between me and Annie, and that you can go, look, actually, I'm going to sign up to a PT and do, twice a week. You watch transformation happens because you done personal training twice a week. Even as simple as you drink 10 glasses of water every single day, you wash the toxic out of your body. You might go, you know what, I'm not going to watch Netflix till 11 o'clock. I'm going to go to bed at 9. The more you allow your brain to rest and sleep, the better your decision will be the following day. It's like the nature already given us a lot of what we needed. And so we are not accessing that enough because we always look for external to feed us. But what if we go internal and what is already in nature that is so easy for us to apply? And so that is where I think transformational leadership will create such a great ripple effect on your people, on your clients, on the wider group, on your family, on your kids, your grandkids. So there we go.
Fantastic. Great advice there. It's about balance. It's about looking after yourself, filling up your cup so that you can give it to others. But a lot of that was also about leading by example. I found that after being a CEO for over a decade, it's the little comments that people will say when you suddenly, with I as their boss would say, I've got to go now, I've got to go to the gym, or I'm going on a hike, or I've got to do, I want to go and get a massage or something else. They're noticing work-life balance. They're noticing that it's okay to take breaks, to invest in yourself. And then when they do that, they're also not uncomfortable about asking for flexibility and things that are going to enhance the way that they operate as well. I'd love to move on to the whole area of diversity, equality, and inclusion, because we're totally entrenched in the need for this and our desire to support more of this happening. So what steps do you think that businesses can take to foster a more inclusive and diverse work environment? How does that, and why should they? How is it going to tie to the overall success? So it's rather than doing something that, we better tick that, that box, the DEI box. Why should we? From a business perspective as well as from a human perspective.
Yes, I love that topic because it's such a topic that I've been talking about for the last 20 years. And I think we need more actions coming through rather than talk. And so a couple of observations and offers that I want to make is that think about if you run a company, how does your company look like from diversity perspective? Do you have a diverse group of people? And when you sit in on a meeting, are you welcoming diverse ideas and not shutting them down, but asking and seeing how it fits into your organizational concept, vision, mission? And then when you think about hiring, are you hiring a diverse group of people? Because at the moment, you can work with people across different parts of the continents, and they bring such fresh perspectives. And so when you think about those group of people, are they given the opportunity in your organization to work? And are you working with different groups of people every single day? Are you talking to different age group, different industry, different background, different countries, different languages, different culture? And one of the favorite things I do regularly is I intentionally, and that's also my hobby, that I love watching movies that are filmed in different countries, different cultural background. I love to understand their cuisine, number one, because I love food. And also, I just love to be immersed in different culture. And growing up in Malaysia, we are so multicultural. Like, we celebrate every single year of, every single, like, Muslim, Indian, Buddhist, Chinese, Christian. It's like so much fun. And if you grow up in that environment and it's just a way of life, you will know how much richness there is to enjoy. And it's so delicious. Let me tell you, it is delicious when you really embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion. And of course, be so aware when you work with people, are you including people into your group, your network? Are you welcoming them? And if you are, to what degree are you doing that? And are you allowing them to be in your space? Are they equal to you? And the other thing is, there's no hierarchy in that as well, because a lot of people think, I am, of a higher grade or breed. But what if you just connect with people at their level? And that is also a great level of connecting and being so diverse around it, that, it doesn't mean you have this title, you're far more, ahead of me, or your authority is, stronger. We are all equal. And if you take nothing out of this question, I want you to know, as listeners, that you are equal. You're born equal. Everyone has got 24 hours a day, no more, no less. We born naked, we live naked. So even when you create so much wealth on this planet, you can't take it with you anyway. And so think about, everyone's equal. It's just how well you use the talent that you've got. And so let's think about how we can change that. And one other final point that still annoys me a lot is, there's a lot of photos and conferences that you have a lot of imbalance, right? You have like a lot of male that doesn't have enough female, or you have a lot of female and there's no male. And so how can we bring a balance into it and be more conscious around bringing a balance of ideas, topics that we can actually champion? And even if all of us do 1%, 1%, we are then ahead for the next generation to come.
That is so true. I just want every girl, particularly because I do women's biz, and which isn't anti-men at all. We've got plenty of men who support us in our movement, but I want every girl who's growing up after us to actually go, everyone is of equal value. It's not an issue, whatever race background you come from, whether you have disabilities or not. It's just, everything's an opportunity. And I must admit, I reflected as you were one of my speakers on my summit last weekend. I have one every 3 months, and it was just such a joy. I actually sat back and went, isn't that wonderful that there was so much diversity? But not just because for a few reasons. One, we definitely want to make that happen because there's just such a wealth of knowledge, and different when it's applied to different cultures. But two, I want those young girls coming through seeing that you've got all these women in leadership positions who are so diverse, and so it actually gives them hope that these career paths that they're dreaming of are possible. So when you suddenly see major thought leaders in the area of space and science and finance, it's really, really encouraging and empowering, and we're all about that. Now, I also know, just to finish up now, that we all have challenges though, and you've had an incredible career that we've been able to glean so much wisdom from today. But you all have also had some challenges. There's got to be some areas that when you come from an area of finance, it might be that, when you suddenly come into your own business, digital marketing, how to, plan, how to actually, sell yourself as a brand. There's so many challenges. What were some of the obstacles that you had, key obstacles, and can you give us a little valuable lesson that you learnt while you overcame that?
Yes, let me point out a few that I had to overcome transitioning from corporate into my own business. Now, when I was in corporate, I had a full marketing team who will organize webinars, set up campaigns, flyers, everything. It's just a phone call away. I've got their number. But when I became my own business owner, I had to think about marketing. And I'll be like, my brain wants to tell me, oh, no. You don't know marketing. That is another whole degree to take up and learn. And I'm like, it was a lot of battle in my head, a lot of chaos and conflict. Like, I'm not a marketer, no, but you need to market and you need to not hide in the brand that I used to hide in. Because number one, I work for the largest bank in Australia. So my business card, I pull out, everyone will command respect. I've got the title, I've got the yellow logo. But now I am the brand. And so thinking about your personal brand is so important, and how you show up. And so a couple of tips, if I may offer our audience, is from a digital marketing perspective. If you got platforms that you're showing up, and if you have not shown up yet, I highly recommend that you do, because we are in a digital age. So there is things that people will validate how you show up, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Thread, whether it's Twitter, TikTok, the whole shebang. But I want to invite you to go back and just review, even if you don't always create content, but to review where you are at in representing yourself. Couple things. Number one, make sure your picture are professional. They are not like 10 years ago that you have not updated. And don't cut a picture because you attended someone's wedding and you dressed so well and you cut that out. Please do yourself a favor. Just, either use your iPhone, take a professional photo, and upload that, because that is important, and then make sure that you update all your titles, your achievements, what you stand for, who you love working with, who you like to be introduced to, and ensure that that's up to date, because that is social proof now. Unfortunately, we live in a digital age, so it's not something that you can ignore. And it's like iPhone, we've got iPhone 14 now. If you don't have iPhone, or you don't have Android, or whatever it may be, you can't quite use a Nokia or a BlackBerry. You can, but So what I'm offering is that think about how you can upgrade your brand, and that was really important. So, 4 years ago, I had to think about that, because I have never sold or helped anyone that I need to use social media for, because clients come to me. I mean, I work for, large companies, but that's something different when you run your own show. So branding was very important. Make sure that you know about marketing. Make sure you create your own content. You are full of content. And so that was one thing that I had to believe in. I was like, actually, all my content was like, what I studied, from my MBA. So I don't know if I've got content. And I had to do a lot of inner work to believe that actually I do have content. My brain presents that to me. I run strategy days and I've got all this content. I run conferences. They come from my brain. But it was just funny things that I had to work with. And another one that I had to deal with was, because I've always been in mid-tier leadership, I was not the GM or CEO. Everything that we go through needs to go through a CEO sign-off. And it was like I was waiting for someone to approve something subtly, because you always have to wait for a board or someone to approve something. So it was that had to lift that lid off. I was like, hang on, I approve me. I approve my company. Why am I waiting? Because, if you run a large company, you have legal to sign off, you got a finance to sign off, you got so many sign off. And that was huge for me to I don't need any sign off. So it was, all these minor things. It's so subtle, but it plays such a big part in your world. And so, yeah.
Thank you for sharing it, because that's so true. In fact, once you fully embrace it, you go, how agile am I? I can just get an idea and just do it. You don't have to have all those approval processes. So there's a lot of gain there, but it is a very strange concept. I know I still miss all of my staff as well. I regularly go through those. I was like, oh my goodness. That's why I've got a whole lot of beautiful interns now. If you want to know about that process, just reach out. And I love that journey, because that's absolutely true. People see on the face of it, well, if I've seen Jocelyn Chong on, all of these media outlets that I mentioned in your introduction, surely she has a team of people who then set her up to look that way. Surely, she must have some staff or just have done a qualification in that. And often no, we come from all different walks of life, don't we? And so they're all parts of business, though, that you do have to learn the basics. And I know we're very passionate about that, but you can learn it, quite easily, once you actually realize what is required. And then you also get the choice that, how am I intentionally now going to show up? I'm not someone else's brand. I'm actually my own brand. And how does that play out? And it is so important. I love those comments that you made about checking your profile, making sure it's up to date and current. You've got no idea how many people I then reflect on something and they go, oh, no, that's not happening anymore. And I go, well, it's on your LinkedIn. It's on your website. And then their look of shock. And I'm like, yeah, you've got to stay current, because if you're then at that next level that people are watching you want to make sure that the facts are correct. Oh my goodness, we could talk all day, Jocelyn.
Yes.
So I'll have to have you back on my show another day. Thank you to all of our beautiful listeners around the globe who just constantly give beautiful feedback about Women's Biz Global podcast. And I know you're going to be loving on Jocelyn Chong today. If you're wanting to reach out to her a little bit more, even personally, check her out at jocelynchong.com.au. Or, of course, you can find her hanging out in Women's Biz Global Tribe. You can just reach out via Women's Biz and I will put you in touch with Jocelyn. It's been such a delight having you on my show today, and I wish you all the best for your future success.
Thank you so much. You're brilliant in a lot of ways. So keep doing what you're doing. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Memoirs of Successful Women. I'm Annie Gibbins, founder and CEO of Women's Biz Global. And if you would like to fast track your future success, hop on over to womensbizglobal.com. Find out about all things women's biz, and most importantly, take the opportunity to have a free trial of Women's Biz Tribe. I look forward to seeing you online very soon. Until next episode, bye for now.